toilet people have a wonderful dream. Margaret on the guillotine, 'cause people like you make me feel so tired.
Hi YouTube, I'm sorry, I'm being self-indulgent. I wonder for any of my younger viewers, time moves on, especially my American friends. You know who Margaret Thatcher was? Google it if you don't know. When you die.
And people like you make me feel so old inside. Please die.
Now, that sentiment, that sounds pretty horrible, please die, but that was actually written by an English artist called Morrissey in an album called Viva Hate a long time in England. So it's not the predictable Irish attitude towards it. Yeah, good old Maggie is dead, huh? The Iron Lady. So it's just yeah, what will history say about that? I just thought it's fresh off the press, so I just thought I'd say a few words. They say it's, you know, it's not nice to speak ill of the dead, but I think we'll make an exception for Margaret. It's interesting, you know. She managed to disenfranchise and fracture England and the United Kingdom so badly. Gave two words to the, or isms to the English language. It was the epoch, of course, of Reagan and Reaganism and Thatcherism. But I guess what stands out more is, you know, well, Reaganomics was what came through, and Thatcherism. Two sides to the same coin, which meant sort of aggressive greed, sort of look out for yourself. Margaret Thatcher, I don't want to bore you too much with the goddamn political history. Margaret Thatcher inherited a broken economy in Britain at the time, and she tried, in her perspective, to sort of, you know, privatize state bodies that, you know, and structures that were like unproductive and state subsidies and weren't making any money. And yeah, and she thought she was doing the right thing. But I have to say, above all, is that you know, in terms of the admiration, I admire her because she was the first female Prime Minister of Great Britain, and that's quite an achievement in the all-exclusive boys club. And coming from her sort of lower middle class background, a shopkeeper, you know, all that, it's important, yeah. She shone, of course, standing up to the Argentinians and things like that, which was really cool, but it was really the British Army and Navy who did that job. She failed her own people, she fractured Britain. She really did. I mean, she did so much destruction. She destroyed Wales, she destroyed Scotland. I mean, there's a referendum next year in Scotland on the SNP, and a lot of the legacy of that goes back to the time of Margaret Thatcher, where she completely abandoned a very, very important part of the United Kingdom called Scotland. At the time, you know, she was trying to reform the economy. I don't want to make this too long-winded, but at the time, Forbes magazine and the Financial Times recorded a record number of millionaires in Britain at the time, when at the same time industries were closing. The car industry, mining industry, pretty much every industry in Britain was closing down. Maggie had her way of doing things. I grew up with it. You see, I'm an old motherfucker. And anyway, and as regards my country, yeah, in terms of Northern Ireland, she kind of screwed it up there as well and made things worse than they needed to be. There was a guy called Bobby Sands, who was a Republican prisoner who started the hunger strike campaign, and yeah, they were for serious crimes, and they didn't ask to be let out of prison early or anything like that. They just asked to be treated as political prisoners and to wear their own clothes. And the British refused, and Margaret Thatcher refused. So Bobby Sands, he got elected to Parliament, a member of Parliament, an MP. Didn't cut any slack, and he starved himself to death, and many others. And all Maggie seemed to, I will never talk to terrorists. But she was. Now we know. Oh, of course, back channels, he was talking to terrorists all the time. What did it do? What did it do for the man and woman in the street? Well, it swelled the ranks of the IRA tenfold. The money came flowing in from NORAD in New York and Libya, and it just because Margaret, I will not talk to terrorists. And she was talking to terrorists. And then, of course, 1984, you know, the IRA had lost their patience with Maggie, and in their conference in Brighton, they came that close to killing her and blew up the hotel. Sad times indeed, and it wouldn't have been necessary to poison relations between Britain and Ireland for a very long time because Margaret Thatcher wouldn't take the olive branch. Anyway, I'm not doing the Anglo-Irish thing here. What I'm saying is that, like this guy Morrissey, I remember that song so well. It was quite sort of... The Sex Pistols had done a song a long time ago contra the monarchy in Britain. That's the beauty of English democracy. That's what makes it Great Britain. But Morrissey was very outspoken in that song. It's a lovely old ballad. Margaret on the guillotine. And he's not Irish or Scottish, he's English. So I suppose, yeah, popular music, popular culture is an important sort of a barometer in my opinion. So yeah, what will history say? I don't know. But anyway, she's dead now. Thanks for watching. End of an era. The Iron Lady is no more.